Welcome to Mr. Brown's Basement, a channel devoted to sharing the craft of repairing, restoring, and modifying vintage electronic gear, and other random stuff.
Today's project is an atomic gun. It's a weapon I use with hostile extraterrestrials. Unfortunately, this one no longer works. So today we're going to take it apart and see if we can get it to do what it's supposed to do. This one came out probably in the early 60s and predates the hand phaser. This one was made in Japan. The atomic gun operates on the same principle as this fire-breathing man. Unfortunately, this man won't be breathing any more fire because the mechanism is missing parts and is broken inside. It's missing a spring at the very least. It operates with a chain of gears leading to this white stone, which rubs up against this flap onto which a flint was once attached. So as this turned, it caused friction and sparks off that flint. What I'm going to do in this video is take apart the atomic gun and attempt to replace the flint. The gun is held together with these small tabs which are bent in place that hold the thing together. It's a matter of straightening out those tabs and carefully separating the parts. The tabs will straighten, but they will only straighten and be rebent a certain number of times before they break off. So this is not something you want to be doing every day. This kind of toy can be repaired only so many times. I'm going to use this screwdriver and straighten out the tabs without damaging the paint or denting the case. And then I have these flints, just standard lighter flints. I will install one where the old one used to be. This is the atomic gun with the two pieces detached. I'm going to have to further detach the mechanism from the case because where the flint goes is right on top of that flap, and I won't be able to get to it, I don't think, without going a little further. Besides, I think I would want to lubricate the mechanism because it sounds sort of rough. These red lenses obviously belonged somewhere else. This is the mechanism that I've pulled out of the atomic gun. You can see there's not a lot to it, and these were not expensively put together, nor were they expected to last at least 50 years, almost 60 years probably. Yeah, those gears aren't exactly a precision gear train, but they will do. I was able to straighten out the mechanism so that the flint falls, or will fall, much closer to the wheel. It was a little bit distorted. Maybe somebody warped it. Not a time warp, just a regular warp. The flint has to go into that hole, and there's no way it wants to go. So what I'm going to have to do is take out this little flapper thing, which means further disassembling this mechanism, and try to stuff it in there. And if it doesn't want to stuff, then a bit of epoxy will help it stuff. There's not a lot of space. In fact, it looks like it's just about the length of the flint. I've only undone the top row of tabs, and I was able to get the flapper out. The flint doesn't want to go into the hole, so I may have to enlarge the hole slightly. I'm getting 0.0935 inches, and that works out to 3/32. I'm sure I have a drill bit at 3/32. Now that the hole has been enlarged, the flint fits nicely. It's a tight press fit, but not tight enough. So now that it's in, I'll just put a dab of epoxy over there, and that should hold it in place. There it is with the epoxy. I've got as much of the flint exposed as can be. Any more, then it wants to fall out. I'm waiting for the epoxy to dry. I'm going to reinstall these red pieces up at the front. I'll have to clean them off first. When the epoxy is hardened, then I can put the whole thing back together. The red plastic has been replaced. There's not a lot of metal holding it in. It's actually very fragile. Here's the mechanism back and the atomic gun. Not quite perfect, but I don't know if it ever was. A few reflections after doing this repair. First, these atomic guns, like most tin toys, are not meant to be repaired. So if you do, expect that it's not going to be easy and you may have difficulty getting it back together without damaging it. Second, since the flint is very small and is used up, you probably want to limit firing this atomic gun on only the most dangerous aliens. I think I'm ready to tackle aliens again.
Oh dear, now I suppose I shall have to use force.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to Mr. Brown's Basement for more interesting and unusual videos.